The war in Sudan has been raging since April 2023, a brutal conflict between the Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, led by Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, and the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, a paramilitary group formerly known as the Janjaweed Militias, led by Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, also known as Hemedti. But to truly understand how Sudan reached this breaking point, we need to go back to the events that led up to it. Meet this guy. Omar al-Bashir, Sudan's former president and military leader, who ruled the country for nearly 30 years. In December 2018, nationwide protests erupted, demanding his resignation. The people wanted a civilian government, chanting, "The military to the barracks and the Janjaweed dissolve." By April 2019, under massive pressure, al-Bashir was overthrown. But instead of a civilian government, he was replaced by the Transitional Military Council, TMC, led by Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. Yet the protests didn't stop. Sudanese citizens kept demanding democracy, forcing the TMC to strike a deal with a civilian coalition called the Forces of Freedom and Change, MFC, a fragile power-sharing government. This led to a power-sharing government in Sudan. The military side was led by al-Burhan and his deputy, Hemedti, who also commanded the RSF. The civilian side represented by the FFC. But this arrangement didn't last long. In October 2021, the military staged a coup, with al-Burhan taking full control, dismissing the civilian leadership, and shutting down the democratic transition. From then on, Sudan was ruled by al-Burhan and Hemedti, until their alliance fell apart in April 2023. On April 15, 2023, the RSF launched a surprise attack on SAF bases across Sudan. Their goal? To capture or kill al-Burhan. Intense fighting broke out in Khartoum, with RSF forces surrounding the Sudanese Armed Forces headquarters. Al-Burhan narrowly escaped, but was trapped inside Khartoum as the city turned into a war zone. In response, the SAF mobilized reinforcements, launching airstrikes and artillery attacks. By May 2023, they claimed to have weakened the RSF and pushed them back in multiple regions. Yet despite the heavy bombardments, the RSF held its ground. Failed peace talks with Sudan on the brink of collapse, Saudi Arabia and the US attempted to mediate peace talks in Jeddah. A ceasefire was signed, but both sides ignored it. June 2023. Talks collapsed as each side accused the other of violating agreements. October 2023. Another round of negotiations began, but in November, the SAF withdrew, citing RSF atrocities in Darfur. December 2023. Egypt hosted new talks supporting the SAF, but the RSF refused to fully engage. A humanitarian catastrophe. With no peace deal in sight, Sudan is facing one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. 12 million plus people displaced, the largest displacement crisis globally. 18 million plus Sudanese facing acute food insecurity. 730,000 children suffering from severe malnutrition. Both the SAF and RSF have committed war crimes, including ethnic violence, mass killings, and sexual assaults, devastating civilian populations. And as the war drags on, Sudan continues to spiral deeper into chaos.